welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. And what we're going to talk about today is burnout. Okay, it's such a kind of, say popular topic. It happens with a lot of people. It's basically by the age of 35, over 80% of people experience burnout of some kind, and most just don't come back from it. They spend years, even decades, in a state of burnout to the point where they just think it's normal.
Yeah, guys, listen, burnout, let's just clarify what it is. I was mind boggled by hearing that statistic, because in my head, I always thought, no, it's like the real adults over 35 experience things like that. But actually, it's really crazy if you really think about it. But listen, let's just kind of cover up what is burnout? What actually is it in the first place? Because a lot of people claim to be experiencing it and going through it, or maybe even questioning if they're experiencing it. And it's something that needs a bit of clarification. So it's essentially just exhaustion over a prolonged period of time combined with stress, right? It's when all of our kind of bodies from an emotional, mental and physical state kind of come together, right? That's when all of them are experiencing the same kind of energy drop. It's not when it's just one or the other, it's when all of them come together and just create this internal chaos for us. So it's, and there's a very common misconception that burnout only occurs when we are we're just working crazy long hours. That's also not the case. It's actually when we're feeling a bit empty, or we're just feeling like we've run out of gas and run out of energy. You find a lot of people obviously that do work long hours experience it, but it's also new mums that don't work at all. It's also students experience burnout as well, and they're not working crazy hours. So it really is dependent on the person and obviously what they're experiencing. But please understand there's many different ways people can experience this exhaustion, this prolonged stress state, and it has a massive detrimental effect on health and overall well-being.
Exactly. So from a physical perspective, burnout can lead to chronic fatigue, can lead to pain, weakness, and even illness and disease in the body. So
sorry, I'm just seeing Paresh and Stacey enjoying. So hi, guys. Mentally and emotionally, obviously, it can lead to things like depression. It can lead to things like nervous breakdowns, even to some psychotic breaks. It is really, really insane, and it's really important that you're thinking of the bigger picture.
Definitely, and my experience with burnout was quite a big and long one. So mine started many years ago when I started working in commercial fitness.
Many years ago. How old do you think he is?
Yeah, shush, don't answer that one. Unless you're going to be nice about it. But I started working in commercial fitness, and my kind of work ethic, what I learned from people around me was it's all about long hours and not being able to trust people to do their own work. So for me, I've done long, literally 14, 15, 16 hour days, literally doping myself up on caffeine, lots of caffeine throughout the day, no time for rest, no time for relaxation, no time for a social life, no time for relationships. And one of the main reasons I've done that is because obviously with the lack of trusting people to do things, I wanted to control everything. I wanted to control every situation. And for years and years, I was trying to do that and getting really nowhere. It wasn't my turning point. It was when I started to realize that I can't control everything, and I need to kind of let the reins go a little bit on certain things and not really worry about what I can't control. That's when that whole burnout phase ended for me. But that took probably 10 plus years for me to actually realise that.
I mean, when I first met John, he was having 10 coffees a day?
Yeah, pretty much 9 to 10 coffees a day.
Those little loyalty cards you get at the coffee shop, he'd go for one a day, which is ridiculous. So you can only imagine the fatigue he was feeling to actually be doing that in the first place, but then to maintain that for such a long period of time, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it just became normal for me, and that was a scary thing.
Right, so burnout is something that can be short-lived, or something that can be really extended, and my experience is very much, I guess the traditional sense of it. I experienced my kind of burnout when I was working crazy number of hours, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I was literally training. I was training for triathlons. It was when I was training for the Ironman 70.3. I was training too hard. I was for what my nutrition was supporting and for what my rest and recovery was supporting, and that wasn't healthy. So as much as it was a really like positive intent behind it, because I was loving my job, I was loving the experience, but there were just some other factors that needed to be taken into play. Combine those things with some unresolved kind of emotional and mental things that I had going on, it was a recipe for absolute disaster. And in my space, that equaled burnout, and literally to the point where I ended up in hospital on a drip because I couldn't move because I injured my back so bad, and I shouldn't have got to that point. I shouldn't have got to that point in the first place, which is nuts. So just be mindful, guys, that burnout can happen to people that are relatively healthy and people that maybe have your kind of stereotypical health or unhealthy lifestyle as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing, is the question is you just got to think about is how do you know when you're experiencing burnout? What are the signs? I had experienced majority of these when I was going through. I just didn't realise it at the time, and one of the main ones for me was like being irritated and frustrated.
And irritable, you're right.
But irritable, very, very aggressive, very irritable all of the time. It was crazy. I can't even believe I didn't even realise it at the time. But being tired all the time as well. You think being on 9 coffees a day would help, but literally by 12 o'clock, by midday, I was gone. It was me done for the rest of the day. No focus, no productivity, just constantly tired, wanting to sleep all the time. And another common kind of symptom you'll see, another common sign is people that get sick a lot of the time. This is a kind of good sign of burnout, is your immune system is just not functioning optimally. Because of this burnout, this stress, you're causing your body to literally fight a lot, and it just gets ill and gets sick a lot. Poor performance, and in the context not just of exercise in your gym, so not just in terms of like your exercise program or your strength training, but also at work as well. Like your focus, your creativity, your productivity all suffers in that context as well when you're experiencing burnout, as well as a loss of appetite. I've known many people who got burnout who've gone the whole day without eating anything. They say, "Oh, I'm just not hungry."
That was me.
That was it. That's just not normal. That's not healthy as well. And poor sleep habits, a very, very common one for other people that are experiencing burnout. They just struggle to get a good, solid sleep. And if you did, you probably wouldn't be experiencing burnout in the first place.
Those are some of the things obviously you'll be able to recognise probably from even some of the colleagues that you are around, or even maybe some family members, or even in yourself, and there's just some signs to look out for. So here's some more for you, right? So lack of motivation, that can sometimes be a kind of sign of burnout. Pessimism, being constantly negative or not even being able to see any kind of positivity there because you're so sucked into whatever it is you're experiencing. Poor concentration that John's already mentioned is key. If you're noticing a combination of these as well, it's a very, very strong sign that you could be experiencing some level of burnout as well. If you're unresourceful, meaning you're not being particularly like on your toes, and you are struggling to maybe use some common sense, and that's a really common one, surprisingly. Relationship problems, and this can be relationships with colleagues, with a spouse, with family members. You can go from extremes. You can either be that person that kind of goes home and is completely in your head, but then kind of like snaps a lot. That's common, right? But also, so is the opposite of being completely withdrawn. So people are usually quite adamant they don't want to take it out on their family or friends or whatever, and they withdraw themselves even more. So sometimes it can show up like individually in both of those regards, or it can show up with the two polarities as well. So kind of look out for those within your own behaviours and within family and friends, because you can be supporting this for yourself and for others as well, because you don't need to be experiencing it, and that's kind of the point here. And lastly, like one of the other things in terms of a sign to look out for is if you're preoccupied with distractions. This is a massive one, right? People that literally can't just kind of get off their phone, stop checking emails, and putting those boundaries in place. And it might not even be just like a work thing, it's distraction with anything. It's like going from one extreme to the other because they may be a bit afraid even without like subconsciously, just by sitting down quietly, that can be too much for somebody as well. So there's a lot of distraction happening to kind of, put a band-aid over this chaos and burnout that they could be experiencing.
Exactly, and the main thing you've got to think of is that burnout is basically a lack of self-care. So it's you're just not looking after yourself. And what we're going to go through now is how to overcome burnout. So we're going to take you through some steps and what you can do, or if you're not burnt out yourself, but you can help others to kind of get rid of that burnout and get them back on track again.
Definitely. So guys, step number 1, and I think you're going to be like kind of aware of these really. So number 1 is get your sleep right. And that means sleeping times. I'm not going to sit here and tell you must have 8 hours of a night with deep sleep. I'm not going to tell you that. You need to be able to work out for yourself what your body needs. But that's a good starting point. If you really haven't got a clue how much your body needs, then start with the 8 hours. That's cool. But get consistent, right? Get consistent with the time you go to bed and the time you wake up. Get consistent with having a dark room. Get consistent with switching your phone off before you go to bed. If you're like falling asleep and you've got your mobile phone in front of your face, you're already kind of setting yourself up for some failure there. So getting your sleep right is going to be the first thing. It's going to be your quickest return on your investment of taking some action when it comes to your self-care and getting you out of this kind of dip of burnout.
Definitely. And step 2 is basically taking relaxation seriously. So many people just, I haven't got time to relax, I've got too much to do.
That was me.
Yeah, that was Charlotte big time. Didn't even know how to relax, let alone actually find time to relax. And that's the thing, is relaxation is such an important part, and it doesn't mean that you're not being productive or you're not doing anything. It's going to help you when you do need to be creative and productive. So setting boundaries between your work life, your friends, your family, is making sure you have time for yourself. If you're working 16 hours a day, when are you going to find time to relax? When are you going to find time to be able to switch off and re-energize yourself?
Even look at elite athletes, right?
Yeah.
When they're like working out their hardest, they've got competitions coming up, their rest time completely outweighs their training time in many ways, because they have to have it. We need it as human beings.
Exactly.
We have to have this downtime to be able to relax and restore.
Exactly, that's your recovery time. It's what gets your body, your mind and your body back into kind of sync into synchronicity again. And also unplug. It's a common one, where I'm guilty for it sometimes as well, is you get so caught up in technology, your laptop, your email, social media, especially like what we do is a lot of it online, so it's easy to get caught up in that. But it's just kind of being aware of what you're doing and being able to unplug every day for a certain amount of time, just to give yourself time to relax and me time, to get your brain and body back into that relaxation state. And also learn to say no. It's okay. No is, another one, Charlotte. It took a while to learn, but no is not a bad word. Okay, when it's done in the right context. So if you've got 100 people just asking you for stuff all the time, and you feel bad for saying no, that's basically not good for your own mental and physical health. I said it's okay to say no. It's healthy to say no sometimes when you know that I need to rest. I need to relax. I need time for myself to recharge.
Sidebar there, it's not selfish to say no and take those times for yourself. It's completely selfless, because you are able to show up even better, even stronger for those people you're around. Exactly.
Definitely. And also look at creating a rich non-work environment. So it's important to obviously enjoy the job that you do, and to kind of enjoy it even to the point where you might want to do it every hour of the day. But also outside of that is have the ability and the kind of the setup to be able to enjoy your time outside of work, because if you don't, you're going to spend every hour working.
I do this. Yeah,
I've done it as well. I've done it many times.
And it's so bizarre, because if you had probably said to me, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, maybe a bit more than that, that I would be somebody that enjoys my work more than my social life, that I thought that would be really, really weird, right? But actually it was very easy to get into. If you really do love your job, you've got to really make a conscious effort. I definitely did. I had to make a conscious effort to fill my spare time with things that I would kind of rather be doing or equally loved.
Definitely.
And it just was really important.
Exactly. And that's things. So if you don't have anything, you're going to spend your time watching TV, getting bored, and going back to work again. So find things that interest you, that hobbies, whether it be reading, meditating, whether it be spending time with friends or family, whether it be joining a sports team, anything that is going to give you that level of energy, that level of kind of appreciation for basically just looking after yourself, so you can find that balance between your work life, your home life, your social life, your family life, so you get time to relax and fit everything in as well without being stressed about it.
Yeah, guys, the key there as well, what John said, is just energise. These activities must energise you. We're not saying go out there and do all of these, every single one of these things. No, you need to pick the ones that really do fill your cup up.
Definitely.
Because if they don't, you're not going to be relaxing in that same way, and you're going to probably get even more burnt out. So just please make sure that there are things that you actually really like to do and you feel amazing after doing them.
Definitely.
All right. So step number 3 is getting organised and getting clear, right? And what that means is getting so organised that you don't have any space for worry or concern. A lot of burnout comes from wasted energy in our minds of things that maybe we think we're forgetting, things that maybe we haven't prepared for, and we lose energy from doing those things. It's like having loads of little light bulbs on in your head, and they're on just because you've got a little worry there that something hasn't been taken care of, and all of those little light bulbs are switched on are using energy that isn't there and available to be used. So if you're organised and you're getting clear on what it is that needs to be done for you and your life and whatever the responsibilities are there, then you get to utilise that energy in the right way, in a very clear way, in a very concise way. And the other part of that is the clarity towards your purpose and what you want to do. But your purpose isn't something that's going to come and just smack you in the face one day. You have to create your purpose. And I want to do another live, by the way. We're going to do another live on how to actually find your purpose in the first place. Because this is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's completely normal to maybe be a bit unsure of what that could be. And so we'll definitely kind of help you out with that. But the more organised and clear you are, the easier it is for you to then be able to reserve any energy to put into the things that do light you up, that do energise you, rather than consistently worrying or being concerned and questioning why something may be going on, whether it be in your thoughts or in your actual life. Being organised and clear is going to help you conserve energy in the right way.
Definitely, excellent. And that takes us on to our 4th and our last step, which is fueling. Okay, so in this by means is providing your body and brain with the fuel it needs daily to keep your energy consistent, to help you relax, to get things done while avoiding burnout. Now, first one we've got is nutrition. So you've probably heard this many times how important food is, and it is filling your body with highly nutritious foods that are going to help sustain and create energy throughout the day and keep you mentally and physically robust. Okay, and I follow the kind of 80-20 rule. So 80% of what you put in your body is highly nutritious food that is going to benefit you in anything that you do. And the other 20% is whatever you like, because it doesn't mean you have to cut out all the stuff that you like if it's quote unquote bad for you. It doesn't exist. But you can enjoy the foods that aren't as nutritious, like for example like donuts or chocolate or whatever it is. You can still enjoy those, but obviously only about 20% is a good ballpark to work from. Breathing is our next step. Okay, breathing is so important for your mental and physical health, and that synchronicity between them both. Breathing will help you get your body and mind into that rest and digest, that relaxation mode, but also at the same time will also have to energize you. And that's the thing, relaxation doesn't mean that you're not energized. Okay, so you both tie in together. Okay, and that's the thing, by fixing your breathing patterns and learning to breathe correctly, taking your time to take slow, deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and actually spend time just focusing on your breath will help to bring you into that relaxation mode and get you more energized for whatever you're doing.
I think we need to do another live on breathing.
Yes, it's very, very important.
We talk about that a lot.
You do. And our last one for the fuel is moving. Okay, your body is designed to move, and it likes to move, and it will let you know how much it likes to move. If you don't move very often, and that means whether you're exercising, going to the gym, going for a walk, doing swimming, yoga, whatever you're doing, okay, if you're not moving very often, your body will hate it and you will burn out even quicker. Your body gets energized through movement. Okay, so the more you can move and be very mindful of your movement, the better your body's going to like you and it's going to respond well to that as well.
Definitely, just be mindful of the type of movement that you're doing from an intensity perspective, because if you go, and like I said earlier with my triathlon training, I was going in a high intensity workouts when maybe certain days I should have been recovering properly. So that there's not just from my experience, but a lot of people go out there and they do these high intensity workouts because it's what their gym has to offer or what their trainer says they should do, even though their trainer might be a bit like withdrawn from what's actually going on from a mental and emotional perspective with their client. It's really important that you're communicating that as well and making sure that you're doing things that are movement and exercising but at a lower state. So from a maximum heart rate percentage, if any of you guys are training using heart rate, you don't really want to be going any higher than 80% at all. 75-80% should be your maximum if you're experiencing burnout. Otherwise, just even a brisk walk or a gentle walk can really help you come out the other side of a burnout period.
Definitely. Okay, so those are our 4. So let's quickly recap. So stage 1 is...
Get some sleep.
Get some sleep, nice and easy, okay? Stage 2 is take your relaxation seriously, okay?
Step 3, get yourself organised and clear.
And step 4 is fuel, so nutrition, breathing and moving.
Alright guys, so if you're experiencing any form of burnout, or if you feel like maybe you're on that verge of burnout, then take this week and really start to focus on one of those things, ideally every day. Any one. Start with sleep, and if your sleep is all good and in check, then you can jump down to the next one and you can make sure that you're getting some relaxation in there. Then get yourself organised and clear. Then make sure you're fueling yourself. Alright, if you have got the capacity to do all of them at once, go for it. But the goal here is just take it step by step and slowly increase your energy and allow your body and honour your body to do what it's there for. Alright, and take care of yourself.
Excellent, good. So that is it for today. So we hope you learnt a lot and took away a lot from that you're going to start using. Before, do we have any questions?
No questions.
Just some thumbs up there for that. Awesome. So good to see we've got no questions, guys. If you do have any questions, obviously put them in the comments box and we'll be happy to get back to you and answer any queries that you have. Otherwise, until next time, until the next live.
Yeah, guys, just a quick one.
If
you're watching this on replay as well, let us know what kind of times are good for you. We're kind of doing our best to work these around times we're available when we're not with clients and various other things we've got going on. But we want to do our best to be here live to serve you guys, to answer questions and stuff. So if there is a more suitable time, let us know. If not, we will stick to where we're going and you can kind of catch us on the replays.
Excellent. Bye.
Bye.